2019 Fall Sports Awards Night. I think it's a great opportunity for us to get together and to celebrate the success of all of our teams here in this fall. But before we start, I'd like everyone to stand up, and we will begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So as we get started, before we get into the presentation of awards, I just want to make some acknowledgments and some tips and reminders moving forward. First, I'd like to acknowledge our principal, Brian McCann, our vice principal, Chris Costa. Also, our trainer, Jen Rosas, who has worked a lot, and this is our first year. And on a personal note, obviously, in my new role here, there's been some challenges and new things along the way, and I'd like to thank all of the parents out there and the students. I've gotten a great amount of feedback, and I couldn't be more excited to lead the athletic department from now going forward into the future. It's been a pleasure, and I'm excited to see where K-Sports can go. Also, when you leave here today, two things you need to do after you get your awards. There will be a photo session in the gymnasium that'll go in the paper for anybody who had won an award. And also, if you qualified for a varsity letterman jacket, which is a completion of 6 seasons in 2 varsity letters, please sign up on the way out so we can get that done as soon as possible. Okay, it's not the quickest process, but it's something that we need to get done so we can get you guys those jackets in a timely manner before either A, you leave, or you no longer are here. So we want to make sure we get that done. We'll go right into the awards part now. We will go down each sport, and we will go from there. Our first sport up is Ashley Mello and Sala Carvalho with cheerleading.
I'll leave it low for you. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. So we'd like to start off by thanking the Friends of the Cardinals for another successful potluck. We'd like to congratulate all of the other sports teams for a successful fall season. We'd like to thank Mr. McCann and Mr. Costa, as well as Mr. Palladino, who took over the role of athletic director pretty seamlessly. Jen Rosas for working so hard to keep our student athletes healthy. Anu Allerhead and the Friends of the Cardinal Cheer Boosters, all of our parents who put up with our crazy practice times, as well as helping out with getting our girls ready for a competition that was extremely helpful this season. And we'd also like to thank our girls for our, what I'd like to say, our best season yet. A very special shout out to the newest addition to our coaching staff, Lauren Mello. Lauren joined us this year, and we could not be more than thankful for the hard work and dedication she puts in to help us. Having her knowledge and creativity, as well as just an extra set of eyes at practice, helped us more than we can say. So thank you, Lauren.
When most of you think of cheerleading, you think of what you see on Friday nights, the stunting and cheering on the sidelines at the football games. While that's certainly part of the sport, it's far from all that we do. What many of you don't see is that our girls practice 3 to 4 times a week, including attending tumbling classes. Unlike other sports, we don't have weekly games to compete against our opponents to earn a spot into playoffs or state tournaments. We have one league competition. That's one chance to perform a 2-minute and 30-second routine, one chance to hit all of our stunts and tumbling, one chance to qualify to move on to the regional competition. When we started coaching, that was our goal, to be a competitive team and qualify for regionals. For a little bit of perspective, when we started, our only goal for the season was to be competitive. We really wanted to be able to put together a routine that the girls would be confident in, and more importantly, be able to perform. As the seasons went on and we watched these girls put their all in at practice and really work to improve their skills. The girls are such a hard-working group of athletes. We're so thrilled with all the improvements we have seen in each and every one of them. This year, we knew we had an amazing group of girls, and we were thrilled at the level of difficulty we were finally perfecting. Not only did they make it to regionals, they scored the highest we have ever seen since we have been coaching and at the regional competition, and for the first time in the history of Case High cheerleading, they earned a bid to the state competition. So let's give them a round of applause for that. The state competition was such an amazing experience for these girls, and we have no doubt that it will only serve as motivation for them to improve even more. Next step, nationals. For our awards, we would like to start out by recognizing somebody who comes to practice every day with plenty of jokes and, even more importantly, a positive attitude. She's always rooting for her teammates and pumping them up to hit all their stunts and put on a show. She's someone you can always count on to lighten the mood. Our sportsmanship award tonight goes to Riley O'Connor. I don't. Oh.
Yeah, you got the next one too. Oh. And then we'll do the rest.
Okay. She's good.
Well deserved, girl.
The second coach's award tonight goes to a student athlete. Oh, that's not it. The second coach's award.
No, the top.
Listen, I can't read. All right. Yep,
Here.
I got it. Second coach's award.
No.
The first one. This is the first one. The first coach's award tonight, we'd like to recognize a freshman who has proven she is going to be a force to be reckoned with. She's an absolute beast when stunting, takes constructive criticism better than anyone we have ever coached. She's perfectionist and always wants to be the reason a stunt is working and always wants to have better tumbling. It is going to be amazing to see what she can do in the years to come. Our first coach's award goes to Ava Botello. Just took me 7 times to find it, but you know. Congratulations.
Thank you. Welcome. Congrats. Thank you.
You get to say her name. Good for you.
The second coach's award tonight goes to a student athlete that truly pulled through when we needed her the most. When one of our flyers was sick right before our league competition and was unable to compete, we had to take her out of retirement. With 2 practices to go before competition, we put her back in the air for the first time in over a year. We told her there was no pressure to hit the advanced stunts, but we needed someone in the air. She stepped up to the challenge and hit the advanced stunts she had never even tried. She truly pulled through when we needed her most. She is motivated to be better, and we cannot wait to see her get that back handspring this season. Congratulations to our second Coach's Award recipient, Lexi Ciela. That's not it. I know, I tried. Sorry. I tried my best. I tried. Congrats.
I wouldn't have messed it up, Lexi.
So lastly, our...
Yep, just wait.
Just like practice. Lastly, the MVP award goes to one of the most driven student athletes out there. She pushes herself at every practice. She truly wants to improve, not only to make herself better, but to make her team better as well. She truly does it all. She flies, tumbles, and her feet are at her ears in her jumps. Even though she has 1,000,001 things going on at every given time, from cheering, theater, dance team, AP classes, unified sports, work, and everything else, she always pulls through for us as well. We really do not know how she does all that she does and does it well all at the same time. We are excited to have another year with our MVP. Congratulations, Abby Monty. Congratulations.
Right, now run out. Now run out and go to the next event you've got.
I also also just want to specifically say a big thank you to our captains this season. You guys have been extremely, extremely helpful, and we wouldn't have been able to do this season successfully if it wasn't for you guys. Before we wrap this up, we want to give a special shout out to our seniors, Shaylee, Haley, and KK. Their graduating is sentimental to us because they were here with us from the very beginning. All three of these girls have brought so much to this team, and it's going to be really hard to replace them. Thank you, girls, for sticking it out with us from the seasons where we averaged 3 injuries a practice to seasons where we had 7 total. You girls were the first ones we have watched grow from freshmen to seniors and will always hold a special place in our hearts. Whatever you choose to do, we know you will be successful. We wish you nothing but the best, and we hope that we have given you something to take away from all these seasons of cheerleading. Sorry.
I knew I should have read that. No tears.
To our girls, we are so proud of you and how hard you have worked, and we can't wait to see where Kate's cheerleading goes from here. Thank you.
Next up is Mark Fairchild with boys and girls cross country.
How's everybody doing? All right. I'll try to be pretty quick here. Steps one, obviously, to give out the thanks that are rightly deserved for Mr. McCann, Mr. Costa, Ms. Jen Rose, this being her first year as an athletic trainer. I'd like to thank Andy Foley for the work he did getting cross country started last year and started this year, and then even more so, a sincere thank you to Mr. Palladino for your amazing job this first season as athletic director. From a cross country standpoint, you were everything I needed in AD. Thank you. Thank you. And friends of the Cardinals for tonight, as well as just all their work all season as well. I want to make sure I don't forget them. We have a small team, and so you're going to have to put up with me. I'm going to run through all 7 runners really quickly. First, to Cooper Tobin, who proved to be the fastest kid on the team for the sprints, and unfortunately, we couldn't extend that to the full 5K. But Cooper, thank you. To Brennan Betancourt for being our Fairchild Fun Friday All-Star, although I still think I was the one carrying him on most of those days. He proved pretty good at dodgeball, so I got to give him credit there. To Noah Pagliarione, the man who I gave a goal to, and he beat it the first meet, so I gave him what I thought was an impossible one, so he beat that again. And then he decided to run a minute faster than I've ever seen him run before in the last meet of the year. So Noah, for winter track, get ready. The goals are just going to be more and more ridiculous. To Cole Rocha, who loves hating cross country more than anyone I've ever met. Truly is the glue of this team for some reason. Everybody looks up to you, so I'm going to keep riding that as long as I can. All right. Now, onto the awards. This first runner, she's the only girl, she's the only girl amongst a group of 6 high school boys. And I was going to say men, but I want to emphasize 6 high school boys because that just gives you an idea of some of the challenges she faces every day at practice. And yet she keeps showing up, she keeps working hard, and she keeps getting better and better and better. And that's why Amanda Levesque, you're my Coach's Award winner, SEC Sportsmanship winner. Thank you. That's for you, John. That's for you. All right, our next award winner, I'm not sure what to call him, but basically you just put some sort of letter combination together, big E, E-G, something along those lines. We can't quite figure that part out, but again, he's been a staple and a workhorse. Just one of my favorite people, right? Like, sorry to the other 6 guys on the team. He wins. To Ethan Gonzalez, thank you. Come on up. Coach's Award and SEC Sportsmanship. One for two, guys. We're working on it. All right. Our last award before I give one last thanks. Our last award goes to the MVP. He was an honorable mention in the SEC, and he was our best runner from, well, day 4 because he didn't sign up right away. But our best runner from the very, very beginning. He's proven to be motivated really well by Rocky 3, less so by Rocky 4. Still not sure. I mean, Rocky 4 ended the Cold War, but whatever. To our MVP, our best runner, and someone who has a great future in running, Jake Ponce. I just want to give one more thank you, and I want to thank you, 7. You drive me absolutely crazy. I have no idea why trails is so fun. I don't really care. I really want to thank you guys, though, because you're running, I know that, so do I with you, and it can be mundane until the personalities come out to play, and you're the reason why I love coaching. You're the reason why I keep coming back to these treacherous days in the snow, wind, or whatever else it may be. So to you, 7, thank you so much. Thank you.
Next up is field hockey with Casey Martell.
Hello. On behalf of the field hockey program, we'd like to thank Mr. Palladino, who jumped in just a few weeks into the season and did an excellent job as the AD. We'd also like to thank Mr. McCann and Mr. Costa for supporting us at the high school level, as well as Mr. Silvera supporting our junior high players. A big thank you to our athletic trainer, Ms. Jen Rosas, who stepped into a job with big shoes to fill and did a great job and was a great addition to the athletic department. I'd also like to send a big thank you to our field hockey parents, who have always been so supportive to this program and always willing to help. Host a team dinner, teach us some yoga, set up and sell some concessions at our games or whatever else was needed. Lastly, I'd like to thank my assistant coach, who's sitting way back there in the back, Tammy Green. She works tirelessly with these girls to teach them the skills and prepare them for varsity play. She's so valuable to this program and its success, and I honestly couldn't do it without her. Yeah. This group of student athletes are truly remarkable young ladies. In my 5 years coaching this program, this group as a whole was the most fun, most cohesive. They worked well together, they supported each other, they cared about each other, and enjoyed each other's companies. They were very dedicated to the sport and really made it feel like family. Going to practice was the best part of my workday. Working hard and bettering themselves was an everyday goal for this team. In the beginning of the year, we briefly talked about our goals for this season, and although we may not have hit all of our goals, I believe we achieved some we didn't even know we could. I'd always tell the girls that during each game I would stand on the sidelines and think to myself, we're totally in this game. There was never a game, okay, maybe one, where I thought we won't win this game. Sometimes we played amazing field hockey and sometimes we got outplayed, but in all of our games we played hard, and each game gave us motivation to work harder. We had many different players putting up points this year, which speaks volumes to their hard work, with 7 different ladies scoring and assisting. We had a solid defensive play from returning players and varsity players. We're a young team, but we have so much to be proud of and so much to look forward to. One of the highlights of the season was our stroke awareness game we held in honor of our very own Samantha Mello, as well as Mrs. Love. The team was very supportive of this cause because bringing awareness to something that has affected us personally as a program. We even had to combine it with our senior day due to rescheduled rain dates, and our seniors were more than happy to share their day. With the help of our wonderful field hockey mom, Jen Michaud, and her tirelessly making tie-back headbands and decals, we sold as many games at many games, as well as the concessions from the Friends of the Cardinals. We were able to raise over $1,000 to donate to the Rhode Island Hospital Neurology Department. And the perfect ending to the day was our Big 3 win over Fairhaven, as well as JV going out with a bang as they won 7-0. Thank you. These young ladies are so supportive not only of each other but other teams as well, and it obviously shows. When I get a text from the underclassmen one night saying they'd like to buy flowers for the seniors of the opposing team for our senior day game, just shows their thoughtfulness. I heard a couple comments from family members of the Fairhaven team who said the girls were so taken back by this and appreciative of the gesture. It's small things like this that happen often with these girls that truly show how awesome they are. With that being said, I'm happy to announce for the 4th time in 5 seasons, Case Field Hockey was awarded the SCC Team Sportsmanship Award. I'm so proud of these ladies, and I'm happy to see the other teams and coaches in the league see what I see in them. On to the awards. Our first SEC honorable mention goes to a sophomore. This player was our leading scorer with 10 goals and 2 assists. She's super dedicated, works all year long on her skills, and is truly committed to the sport. She comes to practice prepared and ready to work. She has a great reverse sweep, which is a powerful tool in front of the net. I'm excited to see what the next couple of years have in store for her. The SEC honorable mention goes to Emily Green. What? You're so much taller than me. I know, right? Our second SEC honorable mention goes to a very versatile player whose position was moved a few times in order to benefit the team. She played on the forward line, was moved to the midfield to strengthen the right side, and was then moved back to forward. What was that? Her ability to transition and capitalize in each position speaks volumes to the level of her play. She's an asset to this team. Although she was known to tell me many times she never touched the ball during a game, she somehow finished the season with 5 goals and 5 assists. I was also notified earlier tonight that she is a Herald News All-Star. This SEC honorable mention goes to freshman Lexi Yost. Are they talking? What are you laughing about? No? No? Okay, all right. I tried. All right, my first coach's award goes to a member of the defense, which in my eyes are truly the unsung heroes of the game because you play a position where there are no stats and never enough press. This young lady held our defense down in each game. She is one of the most consistent players on the field. When she has the ball, everyone felt comfortable with her next move. She is dedicated, easy to coach, and an all-around great player. She cheers on her teammates and is always smiling. My first coach's award goes to freshman Kaylin Lecomte. Good one, Kay. My second coach's award goes to a senior. This athlete has played for me for 4 years and has played every position on the field except goalie. She's always so flexible with wherever I need her, and that is so valuable to me. Luckily for her, this year she was able to play just defense where she feels most comfortable. She's always willing to help carry equipment or assist me in anything I need. She's always eager to better her game and be a better teammate. She was the first car in the parking lot on Saturday practices and truly committed herself to field hockey each year. My second coach's award goes to Savannah Skinner. All right, so this next player will be receiving a few awards and is well deserving of them all. This young lady worked tirelessly all season to better her game, always accepting and taking constructive criticism. She's a strong right forward and one of the most consistent players on the team. I was always very confident in her, and she knew what her job was, and she executed it almost always. She finishes the season with 13 assists and 3 goals, and I believe those numbers would have been higher if she didn't get tackled by a goalie in one of our games. She gave great pep talks to the girls and knew what to say and when to say it during game talks. This was also her second year being captain of the team, but this year she was the sole captain of a very large group and handled it with ease. I believe the reason the girls bonded so well and worked so well together has a lot to do with their respect and admiration for her, the same respect and admiration I have for her. Ooh. No matter what oh gosh. Right? No matter what I asked of her, she was willing and able to do it, no questions, with a smile on her face. She's always been someone the younger players have looked up to and a role model. She was also awarded an Herald News All-Star. So this year's Team MVP, SEC All-Star, and Sportsmanship Award goes to Sydney Hayter. Oh, that's a first for me. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Next up is the golf team with Dave Farrell.
Good evening. Thank you for your attendance tonight to honor all our fall student athletes. Congratulations to all teams on their success this fall. Thank you to parents for your dedication to your student athlete and to the Case High School athletic program. I'd also like to thank Mr. McCann, who always comes to watch the team play every year, and Mr. Costa for their support this fall. Thank you to Friends of the Cardinals for your dedication to ensure the success of our student athletes, and to Ms. Jen Rosas, our new athletic trainer, who had some very big shoes to fill and did a great job. Also, I'd like to thank and congratulate Coach Palladino on a successful inaugural season as athletic director. I'm very grateful for the indispensable work by assistant coach Jeremy Puccio. Without him, practices would not be possible with the size roster that the golf team does have. As always, special thanks goes to Tuisset Country Club here in Swansea. They allow the kids to play there year-round for nothing. And the ownership and staff and the members are very, very supportive of the golf program. And a final thank you goes out to longtime Swansea School Committee member, Mr. James Cavallo, for his support for the golf team. Okay. With a robust roster of 32 athletes, the golf program is very healthy. When I tell people how many golfers there are on the roster, their faces filled with shock. It's not always easy to juggle that many golfers, but I'd like to thank each and every one of them for their patience, cooperation, and effective use of time. I'd like to thank all team members for their hard work this season, and I hope this continues in the off-season and throughout the summer in preparation for next fall. The 2019 season was almost a mirror image of the 2018 season. After a slow start, we found ourselves behind the 8 ball. We then went on to win 6 out of our next 8 matches, with 5 of them being consecutive victories. The team now had a shot to make the postseason. Okay, unfortunately, we did not qualify. We fell 1 match short, playing against a tough Aponequid team to finish the season. Okay, but I do give the 2019 golf team a lot of credit for not giving up after our slow start and staying committed to the season straight up to the end. This is the true character of all 32 team members. For the awards, the MIA Team Sportsmanship Award goes to junior Ethan Kappas. Ethan is a 3-year player who worked his way into the starting lineup as a freshman. He exemplifies what it means to be a Sportsmanship Award winner. Ethan understands the highs and lows that come with the game of golf. He never loses his composure, and he always acts like a gentleman on the course and in the classroom. The first coach's award goes to senior John Garcia. John was a 2-year player on the team and cracked the starting lineup this year. Hard worker, dependable, and coachable are the words that describe John. Looking back, I wish that John joined the team as a freshman, and I would like to thank John for his dedication to the golf team over the last 2 years. He's not here. Second coach's award goes to senior captain Zach Brown. Zach was also selected by the SEC coaches as an honorable mention to the All-Star team, and he was also a Herald News All-Star. Zach has been the team leader for the last 2 years. Even though this year had its highs and lows, Zach was very dependable, and with his leadership abilities, was the individual that I counted on to keep the team together. His leadership will surely be missed next year. Not only is Zach a good leader and student, he's a better individual. I'm proud to have coached Zach, and I'd like to thank him for his dedication and support for the golf program over the last 4 years. Thank you, Zach. The team MVP award goes to sophomore Caden Capaldo. Caden was also voted an SEC All-Star and a Herald News All-Star. I've never coached a player more dedicated to the game of golf than Caden. He eats, sleeps, and breathes golf. After playing in a few matches his freshman year, Caden played his way into the #1 slot and was the team's leading scorer and a catalyst for our push towards hopefully making the postseason. Building upon that, I look forward to his contributions as he matures as a golfer and a leader. Thank you and have a good evening.
Next up is boys soccer with Coach Steve Montego.
Good evening. I'd like to start off by thanking Mr. Palladino, along with Principal McCann, and Assistant Principal Mr. Costa for having me back for my 6th year as coach of the boys soccer program. Thank you to the Friends of the Cardinals for all they do throughout the year, and lastly, Ms. Jenna Roses for keeping players safe and healthy throughout the season. If I had one word to describe this season, it would be the word special. We set out 3 goals this August, one being to retain the Cabral Cup. The second would be qualifying for states, and the third, winning the division. This group would go on to accomplish all 3 and more. These boys finished with the best record in the entire conference, going 12-0-2, and host its first state tournament game in over 25 years. They truly put together the best regular season ever at Case Soccer. But at the end of the day, the most special part of this team was the fact that they all play for one another and truly respected each other. Moving on to the awards. SEC All-Star. This All-Star award is going to a player who definitely saved his best season for his senior year. He finished second in our team in scoring with 20 goals and was truly one of the top forwards in the league. He also has been named a Herald News All-Star, senior Ethan Lopes. And he's working on his some kind of project. He's not here today. Sportsmanship Award. This year's Sportsmanship Award is going to a player who missed 6 weeks of the season with a preseason injury. He continued attending all practices while injured and displayed great leadership. Not only is he a talented keeper, but he could easily have a bright future as a coach down the road. This young man is definitely one of the top goalies in the SEC and is also a beloved captain to his teammates, junior captain Jared Sutcliffe. Honorable Mention Award. My first Honorable Mention Award is going to a defender who has completely taken over the back line. He's one of the many reasons why this team had much early success holding down opponents' offense. I'm excited and also expecting bigger things from him come his senior year. Junior Trey Goffrey. My second Honorable Mention Award is going to a 3-year varsity player who has truly become a leader and future captain of this program. He's one of the tallest players on our roster and in the league. He's aggressive, smart, and steps well to the ball. This young man just plays the game the right way with so much heart. He's a shutdown defender and a well-respected player, and he's not here today either. He's doing his project with Ethan Lopes. Junior, Jordan Rodrigues. Coach's Choice. This Coach's Choice Award is going to a player who landed on our lap via transfer. He's by far one of the top central midfielders in the league. He brings speed, skill, and physical play. Well, he brought that all season long. He was our table setter and our playmaker, and a player who knew how to find his forwards. He's a SEC All-Star and has been a tremendous addition to our program. Junior, Logan Potter. And I wish he hustled up. My second Coach's Choice Award is going to a 3-year starting varsity player. He easily could be the best player in the SEC come next season. He's tremendously humble and will always do what's best for the team. He's a great leader, a true captain, a phenomenal soccer player. What's even more special about this player is that he can play anywhere on the field and be easily the best at that position. He's already been talked about by other coaches in the league and how they will stop him come next fall. Now that's respect. He's a SEC All-Star, EMAS All-Star, a Herald News All-Star, and I'm just glad I get the opportunity to coach him one more season. Junior captain, Colby Campos. MVP. My last award of the night goes to my team MVP. This young man definitely brought his game to the next level this season. Not only would he lead our team with 22 goals, he also led the team in assists with 16. What makes him such a threat is his quick dribbling skills and his ability to get a quick shot off, catching goalies off guard. He truly has a strong nose for the net and is a pure finisher. He would display great leadership in all 20 games that he played. Lastly, he was voted by all SEC coaches as the league's MVP, being first in case boys soccer. He's a SEC All-Star, EMAS All-Star, Herald News All-Star, and also made the All-State team. Senior Captain Nicholas McMahon. Thank you.
Before we go forward, I want to touch base real quick and explain to you guys how letters are going to work this year. Before he left, Mr. Christofoli had designed a new letter that was ordered, but due to the recent snowstorm, the letters were supposed to be sent out on Monday. They were not delivered. They are in transit currently. So the way it's going to work is when the letters do come in, I'm anticipating that they better come in tomorrow or Monday. I will call down each student who's earned a letter and hand you your letter. Every student who's earned a letter will get a physical letter this year since it is a new one, and then in subsequent years that you earn a letter, you'll get a pin. So I will do that over the next week or so and try to get that all done to you before you leave for Christmas break. Okay. Next up, with girls soccer is Bob Mitchell.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you to the administration. Congratulations to the coaches on their great seasons. Mr. Palladino, who's doing a great job as AD so far. Jen, who's been our trainer and done a great job. And to the great, best volunteer coach you could have, Kevin Lawton. It can be tough to condense an entire season into a few words. I think I can get ours into one. Perfect. It was a perfect season. And someone out there saying, it's not perfect. I saw you lose a couple games. We didn't have a perfect record. I'm not a perfect coach, and they're not perfect players. But together, we were perfect. Don't get me emotional. Every kid contributed. All of you sitting there, we can't give out awards to everyone's not time to mention everyone's name, but you all mean the world to me, and you all made a difference in the season. We started out 1-5, and then I think we went 4-3-3 the rest of the way. We didn't have a deep roster. In other sports, do some math. We play for 80 minutes. And we have 11 players. I have to come up with 880 varsity minutes a game. When our kids were exhausted in the second half, and most teams would give up, we outscored people in the second half. As the game got longer and they kept subbing and we left the same players in, somehow we got the edge. One of the best compliments I ever had was more than one coach said after the game, your kids really play for you. And we were going by a team that beat us. They got off to a big lead, but we hung in. They had a ton of subs and we didn't. And I heard their coach say, if you want to have the season that you're hoping for, you have to play more like the Case kids. We had 13 great kids on the bench working really hard, and the 3 best captains that anyone could ever have. Let's see if I'm leaving anything out. I'm going to move along to the awards. And because some of the people getting awards have a long list of accolades, I wanted to rush to that, and I hope I didn't leave anyone out or anything you did. And I hope you're not waiting to hear tonight good things about yourself. I hope you heard them from me all season. At the awards, the first award we got was the SEC team sportsmanship. Usually we get little pieces of paper on that. The other ones we vote, so everyone can see who you vote, so I like that. And you write down the team name, and I kept waiting for them to hand out the pieces of paper, and they didn't. So I'm just sitting there in silence, and they're waiting for someone. I'm waiting for it to get going, so it's quiet. So I just go, Seekonk? And they just shook their head, and everyone went, Case, 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 Case. So I was glad to see that they thought you were a perfect team as well. All right, now the SEC Sportsman Individual Award goes to a senior who did things the right way. What does that mean? Came in as a freshman, got a little bit of time. As a sophomore, a little more. Junior started to make an impact, but kept working hard and really became an important role player. And all coaches know what that means more than anyone. She worked so well with the defense. She got under every punt, and because she always was in the right spot, the defense could stay with their people, and Kate and other midfielders could push forward. So come on up, senior Kyle Azora. All right, moving right along. SEC honorable mention. She's going to figure it out when I mention it's our keeper. I'm just a lucky coach to have a keeper like that. You can't do anything in soccer without a keeper. There's a college team I was following, and their keeper, they were in the top 20 in the country. They made a run in the tournament, and one game, their keeper made a career high number of saves, 7. Heaton's done that in a half, and then some. She's technically sound. She's one of the most well-respected players in the league. We see her every day, so we respect her, but other coaches wish they had her, and other players wish they didn't have to play her. She doesn't make mistakes, and when we're in trouble, she makes the big saves. When, oh no, we were just getting back in the game, and here they go, she makes that big save every single time, and we wouldn't have had the success we've had without her, and she's certainly a future leader of the team. And eventually, she will get her driver's license in Alabama. We'll make it to a big game. Come on up. Julie Heaton, I think you know who you are. I'm so sorry. Congratulations. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. This is a fun part of the job, giving out awards. But I don't know about this next one because it's another SEC honorable mention, and this kid is certainly an SEC All-Star, a superstar in the league. It came down, was the last kid to miss out on a tiebreaker, and she was against a kid from an undefeated team. But Kate is certainly a better player. She has some of the best feet I've ever seen. The people I've seen with better feet are games I'd have to pay to get into. They're professionals. She's a fiery competitor, but which means she can play physical and she can play with an edge, but she never gets a card. She almost never gets talked to by the ref, and she plays the way you're supposed to play. She's an elite playmaker, but when she goes above and beyond being a great team member. Later, if Meredith Castro gets an award, we'll be talking about her hitting certain benchmarks. And when she was getting close to 50, 60, and then 70 goals, I never talked about it with Meredith. I always talked to Kate about it. And Kate would just walk by me before a game, say, "What's she at?" I say, 68, and Kate will go, "We'll get 2. Even Kate sometimes passed up a couple shots where she had a chance to score to feed Meredith. And the stats aren't kept great, Kate, but in the last 12 years, you're the player with the most assists. There's no one in the last probably 12 to 15 years will end up with as many career assists as you. During Bourne, you were at the game. Other people weren't, but you girls and I'm talking about how she just beat people cleanly. She broke ankles and lowered self-esteem. So also former Herald News All-Star, and certainly a future leader of our team. We have 3 captains. I don't know if anyone told Kate she wasn't a captain because she acted like one all season. Come on up. And before I get into the last couple of awards, the other people I have to thank are the parents. I've been involved in sports in so many different ways over so many years, and this group of parents is absolutely amazing. Win or lose, they're there to compliment their kids and the coach. Their support is tremendous, and I couldn't be happier with the support I received, particularly from the seniors' parents. As we move along, we'll get to the 3 best captains that anyone had. Ariel, she's getting a coach's award. If she had another year, she'd get a coach's award that year and every year after. We always say there's kids who care about soccer more than her, but no one that cares more about K-Soccer. She's a team organizer and communicator, and she started wearing a captain's armband as a sophomore, and she took that leadership role, and she's now class president, president of NHS, and so many other things. Good job, girls. I know we don't know she's in NHS. She keeps that really quiet. She's going to do great things in life. Really great things. Going to be a great leader. And I was going to remember that it's because of me. Because I let her wear a captain's armband as a mere sophomore. So anything she is in life, I take credit for. We always talk about what a great kid and great leader she is. Sometimes I do her a disservice because we don't talk about what a very good player she is. She came in, she started as a freshman, she did well. She did okay, actually. Then some kids graduated, and we needed someone to step up in certain roles. And I don't think she was driven by being a better soccer player. She was driven by my team needs me, and I'll be whatever I have to be. So come on up, Ariel Ferreira. All right, 2 more to go. Trying to be cool, not get emotional. We've seen some other coaches do it, but these next 2 players, I hear coaches say, well, I coached this kid for 4 seasons. That means the world to them. But the 2 girls that are coming up next, I think I'm on 9 seasons with one and 11 with the other. So do the math. So certainly my 3 captains, 3 best captains anyone ever had, really become more like family to me. This next player, she's another coach's award. It can be tough. She's always going to get an award, but it's a tough one what to give her. She's such a great athlete and such a great defender, great speed, one of the fastest kids in the history of the school, has set track records. So I kind of want everyone to know she's a great athlete, but more importantly, she's a great leader. She's the heartbeat of our team. When she comes down, that's when practice starts. She's almost always healthy. A lot of kids were at the trainer one day, and I made the mistake of saying, you never, ever get hurt. I don't know if you've ever gone to the trainer. We all know what happened next, and she missed a game. She's a teenage girl soccer player, though. So at practice, she has two very different moods. Sometimes she comes down in great moods, and other times she comes down in even better moods. And it's probably what I admire about her the most, and there's many things I admire about her. The team, the younger kids, looked up to these captains so much, and a lot of it had to do with the way Megan started practice and brought humor to the team. So come on up, Borges. Don't. All right. The little flash of anger there, as I said to her something like, I'm proud of you, and she said, thanks, Bob. And I don't know why her and Merritt think that's so funny. All right. The next award, I'm starting to feel like a little emotional how long I've coached these. I think Meredith, I'll end up coaching her for 13 seasons. And in some ways, that makes me feel really bad for you as well. So as we go over her awards, I kind of rush to get to her because get comfortable. It's going to be a while. For the third time, she's the soccer MVP. I think she's going to get her 7th overall MVP in high school, and that's been done before, probably not. SEC, her 3rd time. For River Herald News, her 3rd time. 2-time Eastern Mass. She couldn't make the game this year. She was at another tournament. But last year when she played an all-state game against D1 recruits, she scored the game-winning goal. Last year, she had the 2nd highest goals in a single season here, and she broke that this year. So the top 3 seasons, she has 2 of them. You're the best goal scorer I've ever seen. She scored 27 goals, and if you pay attention to soccer, you should say, well, I thought you only played 16 games. That's exactly how many we play. Over the last 2 years, she scored 51 goals. Somewhere with the varsity letters, Mr. Palladino, is a plaque that arrived for her that didn't come in. We had it made. She's the second all-time leading goal scorer. And the reports of me chasing a UPS truck down Bach Street today are grossly exaggerated. 2nd all-time, who wouldn't be happy with that? 2nd best ever? I'd argue that. I'm saying best ever. She did it in less games. She played significantly less games. All right, I'm getting so close. Coaching her, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I say that, and I don't really mean it because I don't think most coaches ever get to coach someone like her. Because I coached her, she gets so many seasons, she gets special treatment. I'm so much harder on her and have such high expectations of her, and she always rises to meet them. As good a player as she is, she's a much better person, and she's a great leader. Come on up, Meredith Castro. All right. Thank you very much.
Next up is Brendan Kelly with volleyball.
Gonna be tough following Mr. Mitch, so I'll do my best. First, being the new guy can be a little scary, but there was a lot of people that welcomed me and made this transition tremendous. First off, Mr. McCann and Coach Costa out of the administration, Andy Christofoli, who was a mentor of mine in my early coaching days, and Anthony has been incredible taking over. Has been really fun to work for over here. Shannon Silver and the Friends of the Cardinals have been great with helping me with the sweatsuits and anything that I needed to know on that end. Jen did a great job training, and we sure did keep her busy all year. All the parents have been very supportive and great. I can't thank them enough. As I said, being the new guy, you welcomed me and my family with open arms, and I thank you. My assistant coach who's playing and not here, Taylor. Taylor's a former player of mine. I've known her since she was 10 years old, and to have her be a trusted peer has been one of the funner parts of the job. John Russo, our manager, we could not run practice without you. Every day he was at practice. Couldn't have done it. He was great. And Sam and Jenna helping us out with stats and the board, so it's been great. In the first year, there's been a lot of highlights. Winning the SEC Gold, going undefeated in the SEC Gold, our run through the South playoffs to the South Finals at New Bedford High. And what's also been great and the highlight was the total buy-in from the entire roster. Again, the new guy, especially the seniors, you're used to a certain way, and I couldn't thank all 8 of you for really welcoming me and making the transition nice, and the buy-in from all the players with their roles. Volleyball season, that case, it's long, it's intense, and they did a great job with that. The first 3 weeks, I felt like we went to 5 every game, and we won them. It was unbelievable 3 weeks, but probably my best memory of the season, and I think probably the highlight of the season, was literally the first game. Right when school started, we're playing Volk, who's one of the better teams in our conference. It's 150 degrees in the gym. It's packed. It's my first game, and you want everything to go well. And the first set, I feel all eyes on me, and we lose 25-5, and we're hitting the ball off the ceiling into the net. We're swinging and missing, and we make the switch over, and I looked at the team, and I said, well, you literally can't get any worse than that. And Riley Burgess looked at me and died laughing, and from that point on, I knew everything was going to be all right, and we won that match, and I'm not quite sure, but Riley laughing kind of made it that, everything was going to be okay. So I look forward to, many more seasons here, and I can't thank the players enough, so thank you. Another quick memory, too, is just how tough we were battling injuries. We started off real well, and then at Game 9, we literally hit the injury bug big time. And for the girls to step up and to fill in roles and to do whatever it was for the team showed a testament to their character and, how well they want to win. So thank you, girls, for that. On to the awards. Our first award, SEC Sportsmanship Award. This goes to a player who, in my 15 years of coaching, is probably the toughest kid that I've ever coached. She was somebody that had to wait her turn. Playing time, and when she had that opportunity, she didn't give it up. She was a valuable asset for us, but she was just so strong in all facets, mentally, physically, and my favorite part of her was after she'd go on a run of aces, she'd just sprint faster and faster and faster back to the service line. So our SEC Sportsmanship goes to Rebecca Reese. Our first SEC honorable mention, this goes to our libero, who, when I first met the team, I asked the team of goals, and one of her goals was to be the starting libero, and she did it incredibly, finishing a career with over 500 digs, which is a great accomplishment, especially in the storied program of Case. So our SEC honorable mention all-star, Riley Burgess, who is also a Herald News. Good job. I was joking. I didn't know what we were going to do. Our second SEC honorable mention goes to a player who was in the top 10 statistically in 3 different categories in kills, serves and digs, which is a great accomplishment considering the SEC is a very strong volleyball conference. So she was solid in all facets of the game. Jaden Dias. Hang tight, Jaden, actually. Unaware of the format, so I apologize. Jaden also got a coach's award, which I apologize, Jaden, for making you come up 2 times. As far as the coach's award, Jaden got this award. She was our voice of our team. When I met the team for the first time since I came out of college and started coaching, this was a group that I didn't know anybody. I knew some names just from reading in the newspaper and knowing the history here, but I didn't know anybody. And Jaden was one of the first people to introduce herself and really lend a hand all summer. All my captains, all my seniors did, but she was the voice of our team whenever there was something that we needed. I could always go to her. She was very vocal in our success, and she was also a coach's award, so good job, Jaden. Our first SEC All-Star, 2 awards. This person also a Herald News All-Star, but our first SEC All-Star is a junior, and she'll also be re-getting her All-State plaque. When I got this job, a lot of the common themes were of, what this player could be, and the type of athlete this person was, and this type of athlete this person is. She stepped into set full-time as a junior and was over 600 assists, so she's well on her way to 1,000 career. Probably one of the most competitive athletes that I've had the opportunity to coach. And the sky's the limit for this kid athletically and in volleyball. And I think her best days are still way ahead of her. So SEC All-Star, All-State, Lissa Storm. I'm going to go off script for a second and go to our other coaches award. We had 2 coaches awards. With Jaden was definitely the voice of our team, and this other person was a leader in a totally different way, and in many ways almost behind the scenes. This player was a senior, quiet. Led very much so by doing. And as a coach, you'd say the little things matter. And sometimes the little things are unnoticeable on a day-to-day basis. This athlete's playing time was up and down sometimes, which is hard in 2019. Because it's easy to shut down or to not take it serious or not be ready. And this person was the total opposite of that. This person was ready at all times when her number was called. This person's practice habits were through the roof. They got better as the season went along. And the big story with this person, we were in the South semis against Sacred Heart, and we had one of our players was being hard on themselves right into a set where we needed a win to move forward. And this player, I didn't have an opportunity to go to the person who was being hard on herself because this person already did it and told how well she was playing and how much we needed her and how much she was doing great. And she was really kind of an extra coach out there. She's got a bright future in whatever she chooses. And it was awesome watching her run around with my son at that infamous practice late in the season. So my other coach's award was Brian Bouchard. Also, before I go to the last award, we were very lucky, too, that we had 5 Herald News All-Stars, so I want to make sure we recognize those 5, Jaden, Riley, Mickey White, Amber, and Alyssa for Herald News All-Stars. Our last award, this person, SEC, she'll be re-getting her All-State Herald News. Statistically, she was through the roof this year. I know she's a 4-year player. She finished over 500 kills in her career, which is incredible considering the great tradition that Case has in women's volleyball. But what was even better was watching her progress as the season went. And when we hit the injury bug, every time we stepped into the gym, every team knew who was going to get the ball, and she still was able to produce. All-state, college-level player. The 500 kills is great, but probably the stat that was most unbelievable was a big win against Fairhaven that clinched our SEC Gold Championship. She had swung 93 times, which is incredible. You're not supposed to swing that many times in a volleyball match. And she had 93 swings and 26 kills. She was over 25 different times. So our MVP, All-State player, Amber Arruda. Thank you.
Just a reminder to everybody, after you can come see your coach and they can let you know if you've won a letter. We do have the certificates of participation ready to be handed out. And also any award winner, please head to the gymnasium for pictures. So now we'll get into football. Obviously, we got a few awards to hand out, so we'll make this quick and get you guys out of here. Recapping the season, we had a successful season. We went back-to-back gold championships, and that was something that we had talked about as a goal that we wanted to do. It was something we talked about as a staff. We had a relatively new staff this year, and I can't thank them enough. You guys see me as a happy person. I am not always happy, and my staff has to put up with all my different emotional range. So, Tyler Bowen and Brett Denning and Todd Netto, Joe Martin, Al Palladino, Colin Tulson, Zach Bodner, every day showed up to get our team better and ask, what can they do and to get us where we were at. So I can't thank those guys enough for what they did this year, for not only you guys as a team, but as me as a coach. This is a special group for me. We have a big group of seniors this year, and there's a very fine line between love and hate, and every single day it would change. Like right now, watching them, you guys haven't had to watch what I've had to look at for the last hour in front of me. Every face they make, every way they move their legs in unison, right now it's hate. Right now it's hate. But I'll tell you that the relationships I've made with this group is special. I care about them more as people than I do as football players, and they truly care about me, and it's a special relationship and a special bond that I can only hope to duplicate in the future. And these guys have worked hard to set the tone for what Case football is and what we have been and what we're going to be going forward. This group was instrumental in the amount of wins they had, winning 2 conference championships. And yes, the season didn't end the way we wanted to, but that doesn't mean that we can't have it end the way we want to in the future. And those guys will be the reason why in the future when we are successful, because they laid down the foundation for that. And I wish I could give everyone awards. I truly do. We had young kids step up throughout the year, sophomores, Braden Ventura and Brady Tibitot. We had kids out of position, just working on a daily basis to get better, to get where we need to go. And we had seniors who don't get a lot of playing time come out and show up every day and work hard. And some of those kids made big plays there at the end of the year. I look at a kid like Alex Chamberlain who didn't get a lot of playing time yet. On senior night he goes in and scores 2 touchdowns, and I mean, that's a cool moment that he will remember and I'll remember forever. And I'll remember going to Seekonk on a rainy night and winning a game. You know, I'll forget the Seekonk game at home. I'm not going to remember that one. I'll remember, but I think one of the best games that encapsulates who this group was kind of a meaningless game, to be honest. We had a game at Millis, and for you guys who don't know, the way football works, once you get knocked out of the playoffs, you still continue your schedule against other teams that have been knocked out of the playoffs as well. And it's tough to get guys ready to go play a football game that you're really just playing for the love of football. I mean, there's no championship on the line. It's just a game. And we take an hour and 10-minute bus drive, which for these kids, you would have thought we were staying overnight. Like, we had to pack bags, and like they want to know if we're getting hotel rooms. Like, no, it's an hour, relax. But we went down and we played a game against a team that we don't really have a rivalry with. We played them the year before and we lost. But they went down there in a slugfest, just went back and forth and pulled out a game on an unbelievable play by Alex Janicki. It's a cool moment that I'll remember, the way those kids showed up to play a meaningless football game. And that says a lot about their character and who they are, and that's going to mean something later on in life. That character will carry you through. We were also the sportsmanship team in the South Coast Conference, and I was thank you. We were at the meeting, I was kind of surprised that it was a unanimous vote, and I had to ask why. And they said it's because it was the way you won. And I think that means something. I think the way you do things and the way you handle yourself in victory is just as important as you handle yourself after a loss. So I couldn't be more proud of the way you handle yourself. All right, let's get to the awards. Our sportsmanship award went to a senior player who I can tell you right now is probably the most improved football player. He spent a lot of time in the weight room getting stronger. He was a kid who wanted to do anything he could to help, anything. Showed up every single day. He'll tell you he's not the most gifted football player, but man, he works hard. He made plays. I couldn't be more happy to see him grow on a daily basis, and he's an awesome kid. Sportsmanship award goes to Tony Delk. Our next award is an honorable mention. This person's been a big part of our team for a few years now. We have had to. The reporter came by early in the year to ask us, hey, how are you guys doing? It was like day 2. It was day 2 of practice, and he was like, oh, how's the team look? I go, we're banged up. He's like, you've only practiced in helmets. I said, yeah, we're already hurt. Like we had injuries over the summer. We had kids banged up. And this kid just persevered through everything. He's probably the most unlucky kid I've had a chance to coach. But he shows up, he works hard. You won't ever hear him, but he cares from the bottom of his heart. He cares so much, and that's a testament to that kid. An honorable mention is Clayton Dyer. If you notice, he's limping now. He got hurt, obviously, in the last game in the first play. Our next honorable mention goes to a junior. I think this kid has a ceiling unbelievably high. I mean, he kind of burst onto the scene a little bit toward the end of last year. Took a little bit of working to find out where the best place for him to go is. But he makes plays. He's not the fastest kid, but he runs great routes. He just makes plays. He led our team in touchdown receptions and yards and catches. I called him the warm blanket because you just throw him the ball, everything good happens, like a nice warm blanket. So our honorable mention is Alex Janicki. Our next is a South Coast Conference All-Star that was unanimously chosen by every coach in the league. When you go to those meetings, you nominate people who you think should be on that team, and very seldom, there's 5 to 10 kids in the whole league who just get unanimous right off the bat. And this next kid was one of those kids. He's been a playmaker here, notably on defense. Since I've been coaching, he set the all-time tackles in the season record this year. He finished the season at about 128 for tackles in a year. The previous record was about 112. And he had asked me before the last game how many he had and where he was at. And it was a goal of his, and I wanted to help him get there. And it's the first time I've ever straight up lied to a kid. I was like, yeah, you're not there. Like, you're not even close. Just trying to get him to go, and it didn't affect him. He went out, he performed. He was the heart and soul on defense. He's come such a long way. He has a future. He can play at the next level. Our South Coast Conference All-Star, John Garrell. That's how I feel when you guys do all that stuff in the front row all the time. Our next award is the Gridiron Award. It's given by the Gridiron Club. It had been happening when I first got here and before that, and then it kind of disappeared for a while, and I really didn't have an answer why. So when thinking about this group, I wanted to kind of bring it back, and we kind of changed how the word was. And I wanted the word from the Gridiron Club. I want it to be something that exemplifies what we believe in and what we think our core values are on that team. Hardworking, committed, shows up and goes to work every single day and cares about Case football. And this person is by far somebody who cares. He's come a long way. He's made improvements every single year. He's a kid that he shows up to work, and he got hurt early in the year, and everything just kind of changed for those 2 weeks that he was hurt. It was a different feel around. He was a big part of what we do, and a kid that doesn't get a lot of recognition, but he showed up, worked. Once again, he's gonna play at the next level, and he's got a great future too. And this Gridiron Award goes to Trey Netto. Next is a Coach's Award. This player has been a multiple-year starter for us. He was a captain this year. Another kid who just finds ways to get it done. When we had our new offensive coordinator, I was explaining to him, some of the personnel we had and what we had. And, Coach being an offensive guy, he wanted to know about receivers. And I couldn't think of a better way to describe this kid than awkwardly athletic. I said, I have no idea how he does it. Like, it makes literally no sense. He's got 2 left feet. His arms are going everywhere. I don't understand, but it gets done. He just makes plays. And the first play that comes to my mind is we're playing Millis, and it's 3rd, 4th down the middle, and our quarterback throws a ball down the middle, and somehow he jumps, turns his body in midair, catches and lands down, and I'm like, how? Like, it defies ability. But it's another kid who just shows up and works, and he deeply cares. And he got hurt. He took a pretty good injury later on in the year. Man, he fought through it. He fought through it every single day. Coach's Award goes to Keegan LeCompte. Our next Coach's Award, goes to another senior, an offensive defensive lineman who's been a 3-year starter for us. He won an award the other day from The Spectator, and I kind of called him, a lunch pail, hard hat kind of kid. I don't remember him missing a practice, missing a game, missing a minute. He just shows up and works, and he's quiet. And they tried interviewing for the paper, and the gentleman asked 5 questions. He got 1 word to answer all 5 questions. The guy just kept asking questions, and he was just looking at him like, I'll sit here and not talk for the rest of the day. Like, he just shows up to work. I've had a chance to coach him in multiple sports like a lot of these kids, and he's an awesome kid to be around. He just does what he's asked, doesn't ask twice, and does it to the best of his ability without question. Coach's Award, Bradley Deliker. Our next award is the Norman Ashley Lineman of the Year Award. It's an award that's been given out here really forever, and it goes to the best lineman of that season. And this year it goes to a senior lineman who, once again, he came into the year, dinged up. He took a pretty legit injury last year at Apponequet, and we had to monitor him pretty much the whole time, and his work ethic never changed. And he didn't complain. When he came out, it's because I told him to come out. He just puts his head down and works. His stats this year for a defensive lineman, since I've been here, since I've been coaching now, going on 14 years, I have never seen stats like this from a defensive lineman in the high school level. He had over 30 tackles for a loss. He had 11 sacks. Those are crazy numbers. He made plays in the backfield. He just lived there. Did an unbelievable job. We asked him to move positions on offense. He did that, and he worked hard at that and got better as the year went on. There's nobody more deserving of this award than Ryan Martin. Ryan was also named an SEC All-Star. I'm tired of hugging them because it reminds me of how short I am. At this time, I'd like to invite up Don Silva. Don is the president of the American Legion Post 303, and they sponsor our MVP award every year. It's something that's been done here for a long time, and I was able, even though I learned about it a little bit late, I was able to get a hold of Don, and we spoke, and he's more than gracious to come be here and hand out this award to this player. This award goes to a senior. I can't give enough accolades to him. He is our MVP. He is a South Coast Conference All-Star. He is our Otto Graham nominee, where he'll be going to a dinner, gets to wear a tux and go to dinner next week. He's a great kid, and he's sometimes he's too smart for his own good, and he knows that, and we have to remind him of that. But he's a special kid. It's been a pleasure to coach him. It's been a pleasure to get to know him, both on the field and off the field. And I couldn't be more happier or more deserving of our MVP, the American Legion Post 303 MVP, Daniel Silva. So that concludes our awards for the evening. Please go head to the gymnasium, take pictures. Mr. Hall is there from the paper. Once again, real quick, if you did qualify for a jacket, please fill out the information in the back. And thank you so much for attending our awards banquet tonight. Please see your coaches for participation and if you got a letter.